What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another stream for the Spring Lisp Game Jam 2024. This will be the third stream I've done so far on the project, and we've made a fair amount of progress in the last couple days. I'm pretty happy with what we've done so far, and today we'll start on some pretty interesting new stuff. Let me just make sure that the stream is going okay before I go further. Okay, good. Seems that YouTube is working this time. Yesterday I had a very weird instance with the restream service that I use, and it just for some reason didn't want to stream to YouTube. It didn't want to stream at all because OBS told me that I wasn't sending any frames, but today it seems to be working okay. Hello to Technomag over in the YouTube, and also there's Trev, Big Edie, and Thanos over in the IRC. Is this the Blue Man Group? No, this is not the Blue Man Group. I don't know what would make you think that. Just because I have, some new music here, people are freaking out. They think everything's different now. That's okay. We're gonna be streaming for 3 hours, so you don't want to hear the same 4 songs over and over again. So I got to do something a little bit different. All right. So the goal for today, the main goal for today, is to start working on the editor that will allow you to edit the scripts for the monsters in the game. And we're gonna try to write this in Scheme. We're gonna do DOM manipulation to make a web-based text editor, very basic web-based text editor, written using Scheme, but using the normal DOM APIs. And then we'll try to see if we can get a basic interpreter running, if we have time. I don't know how long we'll end up having for that, but if we can get a basic interpreter running based on a blog post by the Sprightly Institute a few months ago, then maybe we can start integrating that into the game so that you can control the behavior of the monsters in a basic way using the editor. But first, before we get to that, one thing I was working before the stream this morning is to try to automate the publishing of the game using Codeberg's CI. So I've got a basic CI configuration here with 2 steps. One of them is to run the build, and I'm using a Docker container that I made for this purpose, which is in the, the repo is not fully up to date yet because I have a lot of changes that I need to integrate, but the idea is that I've created the Docker container, I've pushed it to the container registry at Codeberg, and as a result of that, I can use that as the basis for my build for the project. It's already got Guile Next and Guile Hoot built into it, so in theory it should work. Maybe it won't, we'll see. I haven't tried it yet. And so all I need to do there is just run make. And then I have another step that just runs, I don't need a node Alpine image, I just need an Alpine image. Anyway, I'll pull an Alpine image, and do I need to say latest? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's just say Alpine. Anyway, this will pull down the Butler tool, which is by Itch. And it's basically a command line tool that will enable you to automate the publishing of your project. So I'll pull that down and then try to publish my game with that. And we'll see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work. The page for the game is on Itch. Let's see. / it's not up yet because I haven't published yet. So it will be here at fluxharmonic.itch.io/lambda dungeon once it gets published. Let's see if it works though. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check in the CI configuration. Initial auto publish CI configuration. Did I type that right? Configuration, okay. It's still early for me. And then we'll go over to ci.codeberg.org/davidwill/lambda dungeon and take a look at the status on that. And let's see what happens. Hopefully it works. Glenna says, these are build scripts. Whoa, what happened? Please set an event filter on all when branches. Oh, is that new? I don't think I had to do that before. So this is a CI configuration. It is what they call continuous integration configuration. It's basically a configuration file that says how to build a project whenever you make a commit to your repo and push that to the Codeberg repo. This isn't turned on by default. I think you have to ask for CI access before this works. But when you do that, you can have these scripts checked into your repo. For me, it's the .woodpecker.yaml file here. So when I have that file checked into the repo, it automatically loads that up whenever you push a change to your repo to Codeberg, kicks off a job, and just runs whatever I tell it to. So this is a script here. This is also a script, but you kind of have to tell it like what Docker container to use to run the script. And you can use pretty much anything you want. So you can, like I did, create a Docker container using Geeks. I created this container using Geeks and then pushed it to the container registry, and then I can use whatever I put in that container to build a project. So I have all my dependencies already loaded up. What did it say? Event? Okay, event push, fine. Oh, what branch? Is that what the problem was? Oh, it's the main branch. All right, so I have a different branch name here. Pubsh. All right, let's go there, do that, and then I should be able to push a fix. Make sure I did that right. Okay. Event syntax. I don't have my right SSH keys set up here, so it keeps prompting me for my passphrase. All right, let's take a look here. We're gonna pull the next build. Come on, load it up. There we go. Build. No logs yet. Probably still pulling the container. Let's see what happens. Come on, let's go. In the meantime, let me find the page that I was going to use as one reference for building the editor. It is webtips.dev/add line numbers to HTML text area. I did a little bit of research on how one would make a text editor control. Uh-oh. Okay. It appears to have compiled the game. What happened here? Curl not found. Ah, that's fun. Alpine curl. I'm sure it's just APK install curl. Okay. Let's go back to the CI config. We'll just multitask a little bit here. So here I need to APK add curl. And then push. So yeah, I did some research on how to write a text editor in a browser. This is one resource for that. So we got a little text area. However, I'm not sure I want to use a text area for this, because I might need to do some more elaborate stuff like syntax highlighting. Not necessarily now, but eventually. So I want to kind of lay the groundwork for that. So another place to look is the Go Playground, because I think that their editor, I can just kind of look at the way they set up their divs and stuff. A minute ago? What's the problem? Butler not found. Do I need to use a different distro image? I'm guessing muzzle. muscle C or whatever is probably causing a problem here. I'm guessing the not found is more related to the fact that Alpine is a little bit different. So how about I do Debian instead? I wonder if Debian has curl by default. Apt get install y curl. Let's see if that works. Okay, so the Go playground, you can see that it has line numbers. And if you continue to, press enter to go all the way down, the line numbers increment automatically. Apparently you can do that with CSS, which is kind of nice. You don't have to do the divs for these yourself. At least I don't think you do. But it seems they may be doing that, so that's kind of funny if they are. So they insert a div with a line number into the lines. But I think it's going based on the size of the control. So let me actually just try to see if I can expand this out a lot more and see whether it stops or not. I'm not selecting the text. Yeah, it just keeps going on forever. I don't know how that works. And that is a text area, actually. So HTML syntax highlighting in text area. I don't know if it's possible. You can highlight text. I don't think that's what they mean. Using a div carefully placed behind it? Yuck. Why even bother? Hello, Ramses. We won't be going anywhere near this kind of depth on text editing. We're not going to use like ropes and stuff. It's just going to be a regular string. It actually might be a vector of strings, one for each line. Yeah, this is terrible. I would not do that. You can't actually render markup in a text area. Yeah, that's what I thought. There are ways to edit text in a div. There is a content editable, which is a little bit weird, but you can do it. And in that case, I think you can actually do rich text editing. What just happened? So content editable, rich text. Because we're not going for like, real full text editor style stuff here. We're just going for something that works. And caret positions. I see. Okay, so maybe it's wait, they have that? I may need to look into that a little bit later. Okay, so did the CI work after all? No. Really? What do you mean it's not found? Unable to locate package curl. That doesn't make any sense. Unless I need to do apt-get update first, which seems a little bit ridiculous. I suppose also I could just use wget. I don't know if wget is often installed by default. Okay, Alpine has wget installed by default. Let's just use Alpine again and wget. So I believe that with wget you could do -o, wget -o for the output file. How about I just go into a console? Yeah, output file. Come on. Option URL. Okay, so did I make sure I got rid of the thing? Okay. Maybe run update? Yeah, maybe. I'd rather use Alpine anyway because the containers are just kind of more lightweight. Let's see what happens this time. Oh, I did this already, and I realized that Butler doesn't work. God damn it. All right. Yeah. All right, back to that. I know this is not what we wanted to be spending our time on right now. All right, so let's just write some notes down real quick. Auto indentation on ret. Maybe syntax highlighting eventually. Let's just break these down to individual lines. So what else do we want from the text editor? I'm thinking what else? Completion suggestions eventually, yeah. Oh, did I not put the -y? Crap. Eval S expression. Let's see. Confirm package install. So Yeah, so evaluating S expressions, I don't know that we'll do that just yet because the language that we're going to write is not going to be pure scheme. It's going to be some kind of scripting language, let's say. It'd be very simple. It may have scheme-like elements, but it's not going to be like a full scheme language that you would want to use. But maybe we can do that. We'll look into it. I kind of want to figure this out as I go, like how the development experience for writing scripts for the game is going to work. So we'll have to see what we need based on our experience using it. All right, so we're downloading the file once again. Unzip, not found. Jeez, Debian unzip. Unzip package. Let's put that in too. Esoteric wingdings. Yeah, that would be fun. Org mode support, Ramses says. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to go that far either. Maybe one day. Time is it? Oh, okay. What everybody wants to see, someone fighting with CI for 30 minutes. Are you finished? Come on. Well, what? That doesn't seem right. It's like it's missing dependencies. So you're telling me to download a binary, unzip it, and run it. And you don't tell me what system I need for this? Well, let's just do this. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. Not found. The alternative is using a pre-existing Docker container. Itch, Butler, wow. But the thing is, the ones that I've found seem to be kind of out of date. I don't know how often that tool is updated. Four years ago. Some people seem to use this one. Do I have to do that? I shouldn't have to do that. Hey, Alex. Yeah, we're trying to get publish automation working, and it's not working very well. What was it called? Three years ago. Updated daily 3 years ago. Yeah, that sounds right. Screw it. I hope it just works. Oh, am I an idiot? I am an idiot. Because it does run right there. See that? That's all my fault. I didn't use // here. So probably Alpine would have worked too, if I hadn't been an idiot. Okay. Let's move on for a little bit. We'll see if that works, but I'll get back to that later in the stream if it doesn't work this time. I imagine the authentication is not going to work correctly. Am I planning to add Emacs-like key bindings? This is not going to be anywhere near that kind of editor at first. It's just going to be you type in some text and you tell the game to run it. So we could definitely try to add key bindings like that, but I imagine that whatever key bindings your browser uses will take over. So if you have Emacs key bindings in your browser, then that should work. I thought this was going to be easy. Such hubris. Say what? Invalid target. And who knows, dude. All right, I'll do that another time. Let's get to the real work. All right, so modules, game, editor, .scm. We'll just start with that. Define module, game, editor. And I think we need this pure thing. We need use module scheme base. For now, let's see. I mean, we can start with a text area. But it seems kind of boring. But maybe it's better just to get something working and then go back and start tweaking stuff. Where's that website that I had? I think we answered that question already. Here it is. So this is the way to get like automatic line numbers in a text area. You just have a plain text area plus a, oh, okay. So it does actually insert them for you. Maybe that's what's happening. Kind of weird. But that is what it is. So, let me check the, this is a text area, okay. Wrap off. But if you look at the, what is it? The guided journeys, tour of Go. If I inspect this, is it also, oh, it's code mirror. Okay, never mind. We're not using that. Oh, but it was actually kind of useful to look at what code mirror does. You highlight the line, or if you inspect the line, why is there a hidden text area? That is interesting. So is what's happening is there's a hidden text area and all the cursor events go there and they get mapped over to the divs above? I mean, I guess I can see how that would make sense, but it was really weird. Okay, so each line is a div, which makes sense. Okay. Yeah, code mirror is kind of like the extent to which you might want to take a it's a lack of caffeine. I just had coffee. I am tired though. Red Bull and Cheerios. Well, Red Bull wouldn't hurt. Isn't my browser already using Emacs key bindings? I don't know if it is. Yeah, send me some Red Bulls. I look like a skater now? I don't think so. I tried being a skater. It didn't work so well. I broke bones. So, just trying to think of the most forward-looking approach to take on making an editor. I mean, I guess just using a text editor is probably the best thing to do to start with. So let's just do that. What we'll do is, let's see, define, activate editor element. So what I want to do here is have the code that calls into this function, pass it the control. I probably also need to go into game.html or index, let's say, index.html. So I've got the canvas here, but I'll also want to have a text area. And there's some stuff I want to put in here also, which we can see in the Go Playground element. So obviously there's, you know, the ID, but there's a lot of other stuff here too. Can I copy all the stuff? How do I copy inner HTML? That didn't help, did it? Wow. Not that. Outer HTML. There it is. So the idea is that you need to turn off a lot of stuff that it can do. Like for instance, auto capitalization, excuse me, autocorrect, spell check, all this stuff. We don't want a lot of these things in here. Maybe these are properties I could set myself as well. We'll take out the accessibility stuff for now. Style width 97%, wrap off. Okay. So I could actually just try to run this again. Is the game still running? Probably still running. Or to go to the very first tab. Oh. Okay, there's a text editor right there. I guess I didn't show where we got to with the game since yesterday, so sorry for that. So yesterday we got, you know, the initial placement of the monsters. It doesn't really look like a monster. I don't really know what that looks like. And the quote-unquote hero, and they can walk around randomly right now, and they do respect the walls. So these two guys are trapped in this room because they can't get out. No door's open yet. This guy can go wherever he wants. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that so far, but we needed to make a little bit more progress on everything else. So I need to have these divs next to each other. Sorry, these controls next to each other. Float left maybe is what I need. Don't actually remember. Do I need to use like a flex box for this thing? Let's see, canvas. Is it because I zoom it in so much? Let's actually play around with it in the inspector and see if I can figure out the way to. Oh, I may need to put these in divs and not have them be just plain sitting out here. So div. Whoops. And the div will need to be floated probably. I'm doing this right. Okay, so that actually made it smaller, and it did go side by side for the most part. TV Josh says, where does everyone find these cool game jams? Well, there's a whole huge list of them on itch, but this one I know of just because I'm, you know, sort of in the Lisp community, Lisp game dev community, as you would say. So Spring Lisp Game Jam. Just keep an eye out on this one if you like working in Lisp languages. Wow, 163 people joined already. That's cool. All right, so we got float left. I probably also need to say width equals 50%. Or actually more like this, with 50%. And I need to put this up in CSS once I get it working, because it's a little bit lame otherwise. Trev says, I'm aiming for dead last in the jam. Well, you'll probably actually get something done. I may not. There we go. So now it's a little bit more side by side. And I think that's actually quite correct. So let's reduce the size of that, actually. And it needs to be a little bit bigger. So what are we looking at here? I need to right align this. I don't think that's right. No. Not text align. Maybe I need to use Flexbox after all. So CSS Flexbox. Flexbox is pretty nice, actually. MDN Flexbox. I don't want to be looking at somebody's blog. I want something more direct. That's why we need Ashraz here right now, because Ashraz has all the Flexbox details. Okay, div class box. Let me just clear this out really quick. Clear that out. Did I hit Alt-O? What's going on here? Game.css. All right, let's see. .game container, is that right? Display flex. Now, we want horizontal orientation. And we want things to be centered. Align items. Pretty sure that's it. So align items center. Let's try that instead. Where's my game? Right there. Okay. That's better. I want the div itself, the editor control, to be aligned to the top, and height to be 100%, let's say. That didn't work, did it? That also, oh, okay, I think it's just ignoring the sizing here on the style, so I'll just get rid of that potentially. All right, so here, height. Initial value for this property is stretch. That's why flex items stretch the height of the flex container by default. So align items is stretch. Evie Josh says, what are you trying to do with the floating and stuff? I'm trying to basically get a side-by-side editor for the game. All right, so stretch, center, start, and line item stretch. There's a center. Oh, center. Ah, that's why. Okay, I got it wrong. Interesting. You don't see the style? Did I save it? Why doesn't it see the editor style? Oh, is that an ID? That's why. Yeah, okay. There we go. That's better, but too big. 50. There we go. Still a little bit too big. 40. That's reasonable. I would also say margin right of about 30 pixels, maybe. And then I want to make it right aligned inside. So flexbox right align item. How to right align a flex item. I know there's a way to do this. Oh, right. Okay, yes. Margin left auto. Very cheesy, but I think it works. Yeah, there we go. Not exactly what I thought, though. I want it to be closer to the editor. Maybe I need to do the same thing to the game. So what do they call that? Canvas? Still not working the way I expected. Canvas, margin right, auto. Can I look at the extents? Not actually respecting the margin, it seems. I wonder, what did I do to it in here? Canvas. Oh, there we go. I wonder if this is overriding it. Did I take that out? I wonder if that's going to cause a problem. Ah, no. Okay, it's better. That's basically what I had in mind. So this could even be a little bit less wide, I would say. I'm already saying 40%. 30. Okay. Nice. That's something. Probably too big. All right, that's cool. So that's the starting point. Also, I want to style this a little bit because right now it's too white. So let me see. All right, there we go. I also want to get rid of the, well, the border is a little bit ugly. So border is 0px. Maybe I want it to have to be 1px, but also the border itself, border color. Can I set that here? I can't remember. Let's just steal some colors from Emacs. How about that? Is that right? That's not right. Oh, the background's what I want. Come on. Green on black? Maybe. There it is. Right there. The C792. I recognize that. Matrix-like. We'll think about it. I don't really know what represents a dungeon crawler. It could be that. Okay, so that doesn't work. Control T and Control Y are too close together. Why doesn't it actually work? CSS text area border. Border. Oh, solid. Okay, that's it. There it is. All right, good. That's better. Another thing I want to have is a log area, kind of a div that has messages. Trev says, I hope Breaking Benjamin is in this podcast. I would not be able to use Breaking Benjamin without getting copyright strike or at least demonetized, so we're not doing that. Okay, let me check. All right, so we can type in here. That's good. I would like to get some better fontage going on. CDN fonts, JetBrains. Is this legal? Is this legal for the competition? I mean, technically it is. Anybody can use this. Why not make it the game modern by adding background gradient and blur? It's not meant to be modern. It looks really retro. What is Sabaton? All right, JetBrains Mono text editor. What is it? Font family? Or font? What is it? Font family. There we go. Okay, we got a little styled editor here. That's good. Let's do our little trick with the line numbers that we found from one of these tabs I have open. It's the one with the funky ligature www. Oh, do I really need to like set events for this? Oh, no wonder. So we are actually editing the DOM with this. It's not just CSS. For some reason I was convinced that it was a CSS thing happening here. Okay, let me think. Line numbers are not that necessary, but it would be nice. I guess that could be part of this. Got too many tabs open here. Okay. So, I mean, I guess. Okay, let's think about this from the game standpoint. So I want to have a log here that says things that are happening in the game because we have a very simple representation. So it would be nice to have a log to say, you know, maybe the the hero hit the monster or somebody picked up something, just to kind of have information about events in the game. But we also need a way to select which character that we're trying to edit the script for. I mean, you could try to click on one, but if they're moving, then it's gonna be hard to click on it. And I would also have to implement click logic. So I might want to have some kind of drop down above the editor to enable you to select which character that you're going to be editing the script for. And we may need some controls as well to say, you know, like to save the script, that sort of thing. So maybe we will need to add these. A text area resizable. Can I turn that off? Resize none. Okay, cool. I want that. There it goes. Okay, so let's look into that as well. Can I put that inside of the control, or would that actually HTML put buttons inside of text area? I may just need to make this kind of a wrapper. Div button span. Oh, content editable. Yeah. Yep. All right. So then here's what we will do. Div. This is probably going to do the wrong thing, but that's okay. All right, couple things. This may need to be a, okay, let's call this editor container. This may need to be a flexbox also. Line numbers are bloat, Thanos says. And now I've broken it. Controls go here. That's because I need to move the sizing to the editor container. Also the margin settings. Okay. Resize none. Let's put the border on. How about 0px? Let's put the border on the outside here. Background color also. We probably should copy that and put it up here. Okay. Okay. That needs to have width and height of 100%. That's not working. What? Still editor, right? Okay, ID editor. I wonder why it's not showing up though. So it inherited color from editor container, which is good. Did I break the source somewhere? Probably not what I want. It's very weird that it doesn't actually show its styles. All right, anyway, I think I need to use a flex box here. So this will be a nested flex box. What is it? Display flex. Display flex. And I need it to be vertical. So flex box, vertical alignment. Orientation. Nope. Dark reader and make themes similar to Pale Night so it's the same everywhere. Well, we're using Firefox on streams? Maybe. How to vertically align text inside a flag? No, that's not what I want. Align items. Orientation. Flex direction. There we go. Get out of here. Vertical. Column. There it is. Okay, that's much better. And the align items. Stretch. I think it's stretched by default, but why isn't that doing, why isn't this going all the way down, I wonder? For some reason, it lost the ability to style. Is it because I use a semicolon here? Yeah, it is. Huh. That is weird. All right. Oh, it's here. And it did not inherit, as it said. I need to put the color back. Okay. Height needs to be adjusted. Maybe height is 100% now, but it may not let me. Whoops. Okay, good. All right, so now what I would like to do, where I said controls go here, and then have a drop-down control, basically. Let me think about this for a second. I need a way to say what monsters are editable. This all needs to come from Scheme too. I know I'm kind of like, you know, adding a lot of source here. I really should be creating all these elements myself. And maybe I'll move to that as soon as we get the UI working the way we want it to. Then we'll generate this using Scheme instead. So basically you say, I have a div of ID whatever, and then it just goes and instantiates all of the necessary stuff inside. But then it doesn't have the CSS for it, I guess. That's okay. So, where are we? There we go. So monster, I want to do a, what is it called? Is it the select tag? There it is right there. Select tag is used to create a drop-down list. That sounds like good monster names. How about that? All right. Mercedes Monster Go. Dot monster, no. Hash monsters. We're gonna also tweak the colors here. Just double check that. Okay, good. That does work. Same as the other thing, I think. We probably should throw some, let's see. ID equals toolbar. Okay, we got a little bit of a margin there. Let's bump it down to 5, I would say. Yeah, that's better. Then we can set the colors on that too. So the same thing with the border. Whoops. That was the monster selector. There we go. Okay, that's better. We also probably want let's see. Can I do that? Whoops. No. In fact, I'll put on the whole toolbar. I do want that to be the font. There we go. Doesn't work on the selector control. I don't care too much about that. It's fine for it to have a normal font. Okay, so now flex direction row, son of Anton. Thank you. Okay. So we can select which monster, whenever they have correct names, and then we can start typing things in, which is good. What else? We need a button for saving, so we need some kind of button up here for save. I can just make a thing up here for that. Let's see. I probably should also say that toolbar is a display flex. And then for the save button, whoops, do I want this to be a button? I guess I want it to be a button. Gotta remember the right stuff for this. Button tag. Or run button, let's say. And I want that to have some styling here. So the run button, that's going to be margin left auto, margin right. Well, let's leave the margin right off because it should be fine. Let's just try that so far and see what we got. Okay, we got that. That's good. The little arrow that I've got here is a little bit ugly looking. That's fine. Zororg says, how have you adjusted the Emacs bindings? I see you sometimes using arrows. Yeah, the problem is that my comfort with the bindings is contextual, and I do resort to arrows sometimes when I'm writing code because I haven't gotten fully, like, you know, I haven't gotten it baked into my fingers yet while coding. While editing prose, I don't use the arrow keys at all. So yeah, it's just a matter of writing more code and getting used to the bindings everywhere. I also want to start using the right S expression navigation key bindings whenever I'm editing scheme code, which I don't currently do. Okay, so we've got an editor here. The run button, I'll style that a little bit too. Should probably have like a style to use that is reusable for this kind of thing. Okay, bump, bump, bump. Doesn't do anything yet. Cool. So now we can start trying to wire this up. There's two ways to approach this. One is to try and generate all the same HTML using Scheme, which ideally is what I would do. The other is to try to just wire up to the existing controls, which I think is probably more work to do that. So maybe we should switch to generating all this stuff. So let's see. Game container, editor container. So editor container. That's fine. So basically all of this stuff we want to generate. We would have an editor container that we would generate our controls into. If we refresh, then it's basically gone, and that's okay. And now I can go over into the editor.scm file and paste this in as a reference. All right, so now I need to go and consult the DOM module. Because Dave has done some stuff for this. I don't know if he did the full SXML implementation in this library, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah, it's not here. That's fine. So activate editor. Maybe what we can do is container ID. So inside of my HTML, editor container is the container. So I would call it like activate editor, editor container. So that's the usage for that. I may need to have some other functions that I have passed into this for handling events and whatnot, but we'll deal with that in a little bit. So now, if we were to activate the editor, in fact, let's go to game.scm and well, yeah, sure. You can use tree sitter modes. That would be a general solution, but there's, you know, for many years there have been S-expression navigation commands either built into Emacs or in smart parens, etc. So you don't really need to resort to tree sitter just for that. Okay, so current game, activate editor, editor container. So let's make sure we call this so that we can get things started. I also need to import the library. All right, then back in editor.scm, I need to export that. So let's put that in the exports list. Export, export, activate editor. There we go. Now, yes, we finally started writing Scheme 1 hour and 17 minutes into the stream. Okay, so now that I have the ID, I should be able to find the element. So get element by ID, let container get element by ID, container ID. And that's our starting point. Now we should be able to generate things into this. So if I create an element and then, let's see, make element. And where is the element.scm? Okay. Is there like add child somewhere? Pin child. Okay. Pin child is what we want. And the element is the first. And then we want to create an element here. So let's go back to document, make element. I'm pretty sure this is what we want. So document, create element. Okay, create element. Tag name options. All right, so make element takes a tag name. How do I set attributes? Set attribute. Cool. Got it. So make element, tag name. What did we do before? Div ID toolbar. So this is a div. Okay, and we'll probably just do that here. Oops. For the div, what do we do? ID toolbar. Probably need to do that too here. So let element. Element. Key binding issues. All right, so set attribute element ID, and that's going to be toolbar. Cool. So that's our toolbar. We also want to add stuff inside of it, so we're going to have to create the nested stuff. So this would be much easier if we had the SXML code of Dave's. So we're appending to element. We're going to make another thing called select. Make element. I guess I should probably do that too. I'm just going to try to set this up in the simplest way possible. So, the text area, we have a few things we want to set. Oh, come on. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay. So control, does this work? No. Doesn't let me do that. That's fine. You'll see what I'm doing in a second here. You might be able to guess already. What did I miss? Oh. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and wrap these. Sometimes it's just easier to use dumb key bindings, which will make my hand sore, but whatever. Here we go. We have an A list. And what I want to do is for each, we got that. Is it scaring you, Trev? Okay, so we got a little for each there, and then we will return the element at the end. Okay. So that will set up the text area, in theory. ID editor, name, code, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now we've got a pin child for the toolbar. That should be enough. I need to add some more stuff here, like adding the monster, blah, blah, the button. But let's just get this running and see if it actually works first. I need to recompile the code to do this. All right. Unbound top level make element. I forgot to pull in the modules for those. So use module DOM document. And use module DOM element. Okay, now if we go back to our localhost tab, that shouldn't be there, should it? Okay, toolbar. Oh, I did that. Yes. Okay. And then text area is here. All right, so we did actually generate those, which is great, which means that we can now set up bindings on those too. So I did create the selector, so now we should be able to populate the selector. So how will we tell it to change the list of possible targets? I might need to hold on to a record that has the element, because I have a reference to the element and I should be able to manipulate it. So maybe I can create a record type for the editor and then an API around it. So define record type, make editor yeah, this is going to be a sort of a private thing. Well, we just want to export it. So make editor selector, let's say, editor element. So we want to hold on to those. And this is all going to be sort of private, I guess. We can pass the instance of the editor out. So instead of saying activate editor, we could say, well, we could say make editor, I guess. And here I'll make this underscore just because it's kind of internal. So we got make editor, and then we should create an instance. Ooh, we don't need that. Let's see. Oh, let's not do that yet. So make toolbar, make text area. Let me think about this. So I guess I set the selections based on the option values that are inside of the selector. So I have to replace those children. The problem is that in toolbar, I'm creating the selector. And I'm not really, like, I'm returning the container element for that, but I don't have an actual way to touch the selector directly. So I might have to return both, which feels a little bit wrong. Can I search for an element under a parent? Yeah, I don't really want to do it that way. Okay. So let's do it this way. We're gonna push the responsibility to make selector instead, and we might be able to create a new selector to update the options list and just replace the old one inside the toolbar. So in this case, we can do it this way. Yeah. So we'll add the options here for each lambda option, and so we've already made the element. We can append child selector, and it's option, right? Option value, and then the content. So option set attribute, option value. Okay. So the option will just be a string. We also want to, what was it? set element value. I think that's right. Ooh. Or let's do this. Option element. And then at the end of the let, we need to return option element so that it goes back to the append child called. And that should create a selector for the given options. Make toolbar takes a selector to start with. Add the run button. Okay, so make text area, we got that. So now, make editor, container ID, make toolbar. We'll need to store all these. So the toolbar, we'll also need to use a let star here. Container selector, make selector, options, whatever, it's fine. Container ID, options, or okay, so toolbar, and then text area, make text area. So not only do we need to append all of these directly into the element, we need to create an editor object and return it. So toolbar, text area, then at the end of the let, we need to make editor text area, toolbar selector. I need to switch those around in the definition. I might actually simplify these a little bit too. So text area. We might want to set her for this. So set editor. Okay. Yeah, I should change these two. Okay. I think we're making a little bit of progress. So make selector, make toolbar, make text area. We're creating an editor instance as a result of all this. And I think back in game.scm, we activate the editor. Now we're going to make the editor. I think we should make the editor as part of the game object. So make game. We have the entities list. Okay, so we have entities. Map entity name over the entities list. Okay, and when we have that, then we can store the editor along with it. Okay, need one more. Okay. Also, the game record type needs to have an editor. And we need to go to entities. entities now need to have a name. Okay, so we also, oh, okay, name. And this needs to have a name as well. Name, sorry, name, entity name. You need to export entity name so it can be used. Okay, so now, when we create entities in game, make entity, we also need to give them names. Right now, we're just gonna call them all Trev. And then we'll change it later. Also, we have an entity here for the hero. All right, so go back to compilation. Let's see if we can compile this. I don't know if it's gonna compile. I've added a lot of code since the last time. Okay, so constructor text area. Trev is in the game for a moment. I think I messed up the record declaration back in editor. Oh, that's not supposed to be in parens. Make editor inside of main. I need to fix the export. Trev says, please don't let me get eaten by a goblin. In this case, you are the goblin. So editor line 17. You actually look like one of the goblins. That's why they're you. So editor SCM line 17 for each. I forgot to put the list in. Be careful when what music comes on. Okay, so options needs to be right here. The scary song. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's done. Okay. So there must be an error because there's nothing happening on the screen. And there it is. Wrong number of arguments to for each. Okay, so this for each is fine. Whoop. Oh, I bet it's the other for each that I did with the attributes. Maybe not. That seems appropriate, right? What other for each have I been messing with? Just these. What are you talking about? It almost feels like it didn't update the, it didn't rebuild the file. It was too fast. Yeah, it's too fast. What? Why? Oh, that's why. Every time I add a file, I gotta go to the make file. That would explain why all of a sudden it's taking no time to compile, because the files are already there. Okay, now we got something different this time. Excuse me. Failed type check predicate external. This must be where I'm trying to touch the DOM because it's all the external objects. So we might need to put some checks in there. See ya, Big Edie. Let me just drop a little PK in here. About to make the, oh. I need hoot debug. Just want to see how far it gets. All right, so it's definitely in the code for making the editor controls. I wonder if failed type check predicate external. Pen child container toolbar, container tool text area. Can I just skip? Those. Let's make it simple to start with. Oh, yeah. Compilation time is not great. Okay, so we created the text editor correctly, so it looks like something I did in the toolbar creation is the problem. So let's take a closer look at that code. I wish pressing home would go to the beginning of the actual line and not just the very beginning of the line before the white space. Maybe there's a way to do that. So make element option element, set element value. Okay, append child, selector, make element. I think I forgot to return selector at the end here. That's what the problem is. So selector, because it's basically returning nothing at the end. Okay, the selector now shows up. Does not have the names that I expected to see in here, but we'll debug that a little bit. I don't know how I can add the text. Unless I put a div in there. Maybe I should put a div for the, let's see. And child, make element. Ah, crap, I gotta do this again. I wish I had the SXML stuff. Let label div and set element value label Okay, so that's the monsters label. All right. Let's write out the options that are coming through just to see, you know, what it's telling us. So PK create option for wrong number of items, arguments to pin child. What did I do? Yes, I did the wrong thing. Ooh, this needs to be in the toolbar. That's my mistake. And I also did not add the element correctly either. There it is. Come on. Okay, create option for Trev. Finished. Position already taken. Interesting. Okay, so let me take that line out. Position already taken. because I already know that that works. Okay, so I don't see monsters here. Why is that not there? It should be there now. It's in the toolbar. Unless the value thing is wrong. So, what about inner HTML? That is in element, inner, content. Value. Set element value. Let me go to game.js. Set element, that value, element.value. DOM, how to set text of element. We'll normally use inner HTML for this, I think. Text content. I see. Okay. Create text node. Is that something? Create. Oh, text node. Okay, cool. So he's already got that in here. So in document, text node, make text node. Well, how about that? And it just takes a string. Excellent. Make text node. Let's see if that works. Trev said, if you keep me in the game, the ESRB rating will automatically become M for mature. Probably so. Because these guys are naked running around here. Okay, the monsters thing did work. That's good. Still not showing up right here. Let me inspect the element and see what it's got inside. Oh, okay, cool. The text isn't right because I screwed up the internals. Let's try that. Also, I don't think I set the style on the selector, so it doesn't look right. I'll fix that in a second. There we go. There's our Trevs. There's 5 of them this time. The horror. Now we can at least select monsters, but they need to have unique names. Let me think about this for a second. I wanted to do name generator of some sort, which might be kind of fun. Entity. List ref, letters, and then I needed to get the, what is it, random int. It's terrible to use link for this, but I don't really have a choice. Okay, so Y is questionable. All right. This is the dumbest name generator ever. Okay. Let's go generate name up here. So back in game.sem, back when I make a bunch of Trevs, sorry Trev, now we're gonna get you out of here. We probably should make sure that they're unique, but whatever. Generate name. Let's redo that. Oops. In entity, we have to check parens because I forgot an end parenthesis there, apparently. Yeah. I think it will work. It's just going to come up with some really dumb names. Wigak, Kosum, Kikaf. That's good enough for now. I need to make sure that they are lowercase though. So when I pick the letter, in fact, I probably should have lowercased all of these. Downcase. There we go. Good old Emacs. And then for the first one, I can upcase. What is the Guile upcase? Character case mapping, upcase. What is it? I know there's a string upcase. Case mapping, string upcase, not update. See you, Glenn. I may need to restrict the set of consonants. String upcase. Oh, okay, where would that be? Let's go to the hoot code. Hoot. String upcase. Case. There is a string upcase, and it is a... Yeah, it might be the... There seems to be both. String upcase. What's that? Looks like it's commented out. Not, okay, so the mutable one, or the mutating one, is not implemented currently. What am I looking for? String upcase. That is in scheme care.sem or hootcare.sem. Is that right? Are we re-exporting? All right, string upcase is in scheme pair. Let's go back to entity and use module scheme care. Boom. String capitalized. Does that work? Oh, really? That'd be cool if it worked. Oop. Wrong tab. Solup. Kupum. Zarif. Vekok. Lumum. All right, cool. Hey, that's something. It's at least unique. So the reason why I needed to go do that now is so that whenever I select one of those entities, I can refer back to it. Though I guess I could do it by ID as well. But why not make a name generator just for fun? So each entity could have an ID, not just the tile ID, but the entity ID. That would have to be managed correctly, but whatever. But at least what we have so far is the ability to select an entity and then, let's see, maybe I should have a script. Entity script, set entity script. This is what we will be using to pull out define a default entity script. When we make entity, we're going to drop the default entity script in there. And we'll change that later. Actually, what I could do is append the name. So just so we know it's real, string append what is it? Name. That works. And now we need to wire up selection so that whenever we select a given entity, we will see the script for that entity. Also, I need to add entity script to the exports. Entity script. I might have to, yeah, let's do the, whoops. Do I actually have a setter for that set up? Yes, okay. Because the editor will probably need to do that. Well, the game may need to do that. So let's think for a second about how to proceed. First of all, I'll fix that style issue because that's annoying me. HTML. Oh, actually, let's just go back to editor. And what did I have? Name, monsters, ID, monsters. What was the CSS for that? Okay, it was the ID. So selector, when we create that, we're going to set the ID. Just going to steal this line and drop it in up here. Okay, and if I recompile, that should fix the styling issue. I need to add the run button too, because that's how we will know. Oops. That's how we'll know that we need to save the script and activate it for an entity. Oops, okay. Got a lot of tabs I should get rid of now, probably. Okay, the styling is right. Now we can add the run button. So if I just copy the button invocation here, that's going to go in the toolbar. Oop, that's wrong. Okay, Okay, so we had append child. We also want to set attribute. What was the run button? Okay. Need to set the attribute, right? So button here. Set attribute type. Also need to make this a string, I realize. What a mess. All right, there we go. So ID, run button, type button. That should create the button. We still need to wire up the events, but we'll deal with that. All right, so pin child button. Okay, make text node run, and we need to return the button here. So we were appending it correctly. Unexpected end of input, check parens, probably in this procedure. I never closed out the append child. Okay, there we go. Got the run button. So we're all good to go on the UI front, except for just getting the script for each of the characters. So now we need to wire up an event handler. We should wire up on the selector. So how will we do that? I know that there is a procedure to external. So the way to set up a callback is to use procedure to external to wrap a scheme procedure with a JavaScript function, I think. And HTML, JavaScript, select on change event. When a user changes the selected option of a select element. So let's see. There is some event handling stuff in the DOM library, I think. If I look for DOM event. So there's add event listener. So on the selector, and what is that? The element, I think it must be the element, which is selector. The event name on change, I believe that was on change, and then the procedure to use. We're just going to do something really simple right now, which is lambda e pk selection change to. I don't know what the actual. Let's see. So on change event occurs. It probably isn't given the new value, so I'll have to read the value off the select element. HTML. Get select value. Okay, so I think that's what that value was for. So element value selector. I think that doesn't need to have any parameters. That way, okay. That should give us a something. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. Two things wrong. Procedure to, what was it? External. Okay, so first of all, we need procedure to external. Then we also need to import the DOM event module. where is procedure external coming from? FFI. Go back to editor. This should work. Check the console. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything happening just yet. And let me clean up some of this existing print stuff. All right. So we're not getting the event handler. I wonder if we're setting it too early, like before it even gets added to the DOM. It may be necessary to do that. So let me actually move this down to the editor. So at this point, we've added the element to the parent control, which hopefully should have wired it up into the running DOM. And maybe this will now set the event handler correctly. I'm making an assumption here. I don't know if this is actually the problem, but we'll find out in a moment. It's not complaining. Oh, and I wonder if I needed to remove on change, if it's just called change. That could be another thing. Must be change. Let's try that. Come on. Okay, that's good. Wrong number of arguments procedure. Which one? Could it be the lambda? Element value selector. It could be element value also. There it is. Got it. Cool. So now we can do selections. So what we need at this point is a way to have handlers passed in to make editor, to handle the selection event and when run is clicked, I think, to like update the script. So we need a couple handlers. Something like that. Or maybe that. And actually, I could just take this. And when I make the editor in game.scm, I will add a lambda here. That's not right. That's probably right. Okay, so I need the lambda. I also need to add another. And what would be the parameters for the run procedure? The name and the script, I would say. So the current selection. Yeah, because when we get the selection, we need to actually call back into the editor and set the script to be displayed. So update script in editor, and that's it. So let's recompile this and see if it works. Unknown location, bad lambda inform, lambda name script. It's because I don't have any body here, so I can just put a pk pk, whoa. Update script for name. There we go. So if I select again, it should, yeah, cool. We need to do the automatic selection of the first entry. Okay, so the selection works. I need to wire up the click handler for run, so we could do that too. Back in editor, add an event listener for run. Oh, we don't actually have the button. Maybe we can put this back. That's actually tricky. Okay, so toolbar, we'll just pass the run handler. Make toolbar. And actually, I need to copy this again. And here we will add an event listener to the element. That's going to be for click. Procedure to external, run proc. Yikes. I'll have to abstract that a little bit, I think. So when I... Huh. A little bit messy, but it'll be fine. So lambda e run proc, and you know, we'll take care of that after. So the run proc being passed there is going to be different than the one being passed to the other function. A little bit of an indirection, not the greatest thing in the world. When we create the toolbar, we have to do pass one in. We'll say lambda. I suppose we could even just do that. Kind of dirty, but. So we have run proc, which is element value selector. Ooh, I should probably. How do you get the value of a text editor control? So HTML text edit get content. Did it also get value? Text content. Is it back in element or document? Where was the text node thing? Make text node. Game.js. Text. Get context. Get inner. Get value. Let me try this real quick. Why is it not let me type? Okay, so the text element is there it is. Okay, so in the console, document.get element by ID code. Okay, that value. Value works. Okay, that works just fine then. Then element value text area, but we need to create the text area first before we have the. Ooh, and you know, one problem I'm gonna have here is that the selector, if I recreate the selector, okay, maybe I won't recreate the selector. I need to keep the same instance of that. So run proc element value selector, element value text area, that should work. Back in, oh, let me go check that run proc as well. Right here, I'll just call that run proc. And here I can close that out. And back in game.scm, I do have the update script for already, so you might actually be able to see that work just now. Let's get back into the compilation. Okay, and our local host is right here. So if I start typing blah, 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 and click run, and it says update script for Safat, and it's the contents that I'm giving it. So we do have a pipeline back into the game engine now, I suppose. So define foo display hello. That's not actually going to work. I mean, we don't have any ability to process these things just yet, but it's a good starting point. So let me see, what can we do here? The next thing I could probably do is if I have an set editor content. Ooh, is this a self-referential? That's not gonna work, is it? This may have to be let star or let rec. Will that work? Maybe. Editor. Set editor content, editor. And, oh. We need to get the, ooh, I need to find the entity first. Find the entity by name. Is there a find procedure? Let me see in... let's see, rip grep, find. Guile list search. Oh, is it like member? It would be mem p. Is there mem p in Hoot? No. And this is a soak, okay. But I need to have one that can use a predicate, and these do not. Oh, it's just there? Okay. Do they have any surfies? Surfy 1? Let's see, Surfy 1. There are some procedures in Surfy 1 that can be pretty useful. Find. Yes. Find the first element that satisfies predicate pred. So Surfy1. We have where Surfy9. That's kind of weird. Where is the Surfy1 stuff defined? Unless this is, oh, this is the backend stuff. So this may not actually be in Hoot itself. It's in the compiler for Hoot. Okay, so maybe I have to write my own. That's fine. So let's go back into entity or in game. Let's do that in game. That's probably the more appropriate place to call that. So loop is entities. I think this is a list. So okay. And then here, if null entities, then we return false. Otherwise, if entity name of car entities actually I should just put name right here. If they're equal, then return car entities. Otherwise, loop footer entities. There you go. So that will give us the ability to find an entity by name. And we are here, set editor content. We need to entity script, find entity game. Do we have, oh, we don't even have a game object yet. So how will we deal with that? This is a little bit messy. I guess we need to do this current game, which is not my favorite way to do that, but that may be what we have to do for now. So set editor content. I need to go back into editor.scm, make a new procedure, define set editor content, editor script, let's say, content, who knows. And first of all, we need to get the editor text area for the editor, and then element, what was it, set element value. Okay, now we're gonna go export the set editor content. Entities. That sounds great. Entities. Where is it? There it is, right there. Man, you can tell my brain is tired. Wrong number of arguments to make editor. Make editor. I think that must be in game. Make editor. I think I must have forgot to close something here. Oh yeah, I got a slash in there. Let's drop this down one level. Okay, I think that's fine now. Yeah. There we go. Hey, there it is. So we got the script being loaded up into the editor for each entity. I need to make sure that the first entity's script gets selected by default. If I click run, and it says update script for whoever, foo. Okay, so it is working. So it's sort of bi-directional loading of an existing script and, well, am I actually saving those yet? I need to save those too. So back in entity, do I export the, I think I do export the set entity script. So back in game, all right, update script for, let's go right here to set entity script. I might need to make a helper function for that that does the compilation, quote unquote compilation of the script so that it can be executed each frame. So set entity script, ooh, we still need to do the find entity on this too. So find yeah, the idea is eventually we would make a legitimate editor that would be used for a Guile teaching tool. That's something that's like a longer term goal. So find entity current game name, set entity script. We're setting it on this and we're gonna set it to script. So that should be able to save that once we're finished editing. End of input, where did I miss it? Maybe it's right here at the end. Yes. Come on. All right, so if I select Conniv, this guy is awful. And I save it. Then I go to Nelup. Then I go back. Oh, why does he not have a script? Then Conniv. Okay, so that did get saved in the entity's information. That doesn't make sense that Nelup doesn't have a script, though. How did it get saved? Because I don't think that's right. Huh. What just happened? Okay, so I'm not calling that anywhere. Make entity. I don't know why that would have gotten wiped out. Because we're not telling it to save the script when we change. Maybe we should, though. Oh, how do I get it to automatically make a selection at first? That may be the game's responsibility. I don't know. It feels like the UI should do it, but it can't really. So we do make editor. We have the let rec here. Set editor script. Entity script. Car entities. And the editor is editor. So, I mean, this should do the job, I think. A little hacky, but this is a game jam. What did I call that? It's that editor content. Okay. There we go. Script for Foolish. Cool. So now we can at least yeah, put some padding in here or something to make it, you know, have a little more room. Maybe. Okay, so we've done pretty good, I think. Maybe I should go ahead and try to commit some of this stuff before we move on. Also, I can get rid of some of these print lines since we don't really need them now. Okay. Let's just clean up some things here. We're gonna add the editor. All of our CSS changes, I can just get rid of that one now because I don't think I need it. So that's that. Okay. Okay. All that looks fairly clean. Good. Yes. Okay, that all looks good. That needs to be improved later, but I don't really care right now. It's fine. All right, so add initial script editor and entity name generation. Okay, so we have about 20 minutes, let's say. So maybe we can spend some time talking about how the scripting language is supposed to work. And then tomorrow is probably when I'll start trying to make that happen. The scripting language. So I would say based on Scheme, but not fully Scheme. Very targeted to game logic. And maybe state machine driven. So let's say if I were to try to come up with an example. And maybe I should also say what kinds of things I would want to do with it. Oh, come on. Follow the hero. Walk to items. Open, close doors, perhaps. Okay, so as far as the examples are concerned, let's think. All right, so what would be a scenario in the game? Like the hero is supposed to figure out how to accomplish his goal, which is maybe to pick up all the treasure in the map. So anything that's shiny in the map, the hero is going for it, and he will smack any monster that gets in his way. So the goblins need to either fight the hero, or the monsters need to either fight the hero, or they need to set up obstacles that prevent the hero from getting to where he needs to go. And maybe the end state is that, yeah, setting up traps, something like that, perhaps. So set traps. Prevent hero from gathering all treasure within a time limit. So let's say, you know, within the span of maybe 2 minutes, if they can prevent the hero from getting to all the treasure in 2 minutes, or even 1 minute, let's say, and this is a small map, so maybe it's just a little bit of strategy there, then that would be a win state. Otherwise, the player loses. So then if we were to say, that the script is the instruction to an individual entity to tell it what it should be doing. You're basically giving them jobs. So how do they know what their job is? Or how do you express what the logic would be for their current job? So it's almost like a series of it's like a cond almost. Like if you could imagine a cond, if hero is close, then flee almost, something like that. And let's see, treasure visible. Take nearest treasure. I know these are very like lame things to do, but this is a level at which I'm thinking that the person would be able to script the game, because you're not going to write full scheme code. It would be too time consuming to write full code, I think, for the things that you need to do. But if there's a good vocabulary of predicates, even with, you know, parameters, like let's say hero is close, like maybe within 3 tiles or something, and treasure is visible, maybe like you could say you're looking only for keys, and you could say take treasure key. Otherwise, wander. So it would effectively be a cond. Logic. Will there be special moves for certain goblins? Actually, what I was thinking is that each monster might be afflicted by a different status effect. So they could either be sleepy, or drunk, or angry. And maybe even the hero could be affected by the same thing. So it might affect how well they follow your instructions. That might be kind of funny or interesting. Martin says, hide the loot. Could you not do it as some sort of pattern matching? Well, maybe. I mean, so we won't have a pattern matcher inside the interpreter, because this is going to be a very primitive interpreter. It's not going to be like the actual Who compiler, because the Who compiler can't run in the browser yet. You can only pre-compile code to be run in the browser. So anything that's inside of the browser would have to be interpreted. So we don't have full interpreting yet in Hoot. So we're going to have to write something very simple. The nice thing is that Hoot does have a read syntax for a read procedure to read the syntax of an expression. So I can read this in, and it turns it into lists. Then I can process it. Basically, I can interpret the structure of the syntax, but we can't really run, you know, syntaxes for real inside of the interpreter yet. All right, so this is kind of interesting as a way to do this, I think. So you basically just have a way to say, you know, for different scenarios, you would have different responses. You could also have states. I mean, you could imagine there would be like an idle state, and they would react in certain ways, or you could have a scared state, and they would react in other ways. But I don't know if that's going to go too far just yet, so we'll have to experiment a little bit and see what is the best combination of capabilities. But for now, I mean, that seems kind of interesting. Let's see. What else could they do? If a door is open, let's see. So we might have to have a way to like pass the target option between these. So like if find open door returns something, and you might want to have this in a series. So they're going to be prioritized in order. So first is like find open door, and if it finds one, it passes that through to like closed door. You could also like if you find item. Find item, and because the map will be randomized and the things that are in the map will be randomized, you won't be writing the same script every time, because you'll have to write a script specifically about the things that are there in the game world. So I don't know if this is going to be a fun game. It's just sort of an interesting idea, I think, to try to see if this kind of thing could work, but it won't be the most fun. Yes, Martin says, could there be a cost to inspecting the world so you force the player to economize with instructions? Yeah, that probably will be necessary. So let's actually put that in. Thanks for reminding me about that. So aside from the status effects, you may also have, each goblin may have its own limitations in terms of what it can do. Entities will have status effects and limitations, maybe also an action cost, which gets depleted. I also thought about like having food, like if the monster is hungry or wants to drink something, it might prioritize that, putting it in danger. Because maybe it gets hungry and it starts looking for food, and it would run across the path of the hero, and the hero would beat it up. So things like that I think could be a little bit more interesting, just to add some, some variety, so that you don't just write code that works perfectly. You may have to you may have to be at the mercy of the what would you call it? The capricious mind of the monster. So find item, yellow key, lock, take item. Something like that. So that's sort of this current idea. And I think that would be pretty easy to implement an interpreter for, if we're not actually trying to write real code. Because this, I can just interpret that very easily just by looking at the lists, the content of the lists. So yeah, I think that actually would be pretty easy to write. So maybe tomorrow we can start on that. Is there anything else I want to do today that would be kind of low-hanging fruit in the next 10 minutes? Thanos says, so it'll be kind of like Scratch? I guess so. I don't really know. But for now, you see that the monsters are just kind of wandering around. The hero is too. I think he's not really moving at the moment. The hero would have its own logic, but maybe it's always the same logic. Just, go find the treasure, and maybe it uses the same instructions. Like the hero just has a simple set of instructions, which is to go find the nearest treasure and try to get to it. And if a monster is within 2 tiles, just go attack the monster instead. That kind of thing. And maybe the hero has his own limitations. We also need to change the colors of some of this stuff here. Like, I could probably just do that really quick. I need to edit the original image. Do I have, I can do this. Geek shell, GIMP. Does that work? I don't know if I've installed GIMP before on this machine. All right, let me open up the Lambda Dungeon, assets, images, colored, packed is the one I'm using right now. Let me just steal some colors here. I want to steal the red color. Okay, for the hero. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oop. Probably an easier way to do this. Trying to do it without hitting the background. Okay, so let's save this image. No. All right, now we have a red guy. So the little naked dude here that we're using for the current monster, let's say, we'll make him green. Where's the fill tool? And he is, I think this one. Oh, that one's actually kind of better. Looks a little bit like a horned goblin guy. So I need to throw some variety in on the monsters in the game. Maybe I can do that too really quickly. All right, so let's save that one again. Where's the overwrite? Okay, now they're green. It's a bit easier to read these now. The walls, maybe I want to make the walls kind of more of a brown. So let me pick this color here. And, ooh, I have some different wall tiles I could use instead if I wanted to. This one here, that one is a bit harder to yeah, pick the lighter color. In fact, they'll kind of only paint some of these, make it a bit more interesting looking. Oops. Okay. I wonder if that's going to look good. Yeesh. All right, maybe I should just paint all of them so it doesn't stick out so much. I'm doing this with a track point on a ThinkPad style keyboard, so this is why it takes a little bit of effort to be precise on pixels. Just like that. I don't know if Magic Wand would help me here. Get out of here. Okay, that looks better. I mean, now you can kind of track what's happening more effectively. Let's also grab that little horned guy. It kind of looks like one of the characters on Doom. Make him purple. I think there's a purple in here somewhere. Or not. I can pick one anyway. Let me just lock this blue color here, and I'll go into the color selector and throw it more towards the purple area. And then zoom back in. Use the fill tool. Oh. What? Oh, is this? Oh, okay. Maybe there's a color palette in this file. Let's use yellow instead. Make it look a little bit more scary. Is there an orange? Nah. Yeah, that's fine. We'll use the yellow. All right. And I'll say this again. I forgot the little horns on the shoulders, but that's okay. What I need to do is go back to my entity code and make it possible to pick different types of monsters. So make entity, name, type, and maybe there's a, no. Some of the stats might be different for the initial type. We'll get rid of these subclasses as well. I don't think we won't use this approach in the game. So we have types now. Might want to export the entity type. I do want to change the, let's see, where is entity type? All right. So maybe what I'll do is there's no more tile ID being passed in to make entity. We will dispatch on type. So here is a case tile ID. What do you call it? Guy. Real creative stuff here. Real creative stuff. Not tile ID, type. And the tile ID would be, so the little guy is 1, 2, 3. I think did I read that right? 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3, okay. Let's call it hero. And the hero is 31. And demon. I need to go into tiled probably and whoops and figure out what that tiled, there we go. Need to figure out what that tile is. Okay, so let's go over in the dungeon, and it's this one right here. That is 124. So 124. We were using pick letter. I think this probably needs to be a random item. And then back in util, I'm gonna make a new define random items. All right, and then export that random item. And now back in gain.scm, when I create an entity, make entity, generate name. Here I'm going to random item guy demon. And also back when I create the hero, I will say hero. So we go back to the compilation buffer. Maybe we'll see something. Okay, so random item is not appreciated. Random item. So I think I need to pull in the util. Did I not pull that in yet? Yeah, I didn't pull that in yet. Game util. Wrong number of arguments, but it doesn't tell me. Oh, record with no printer. Am I trying to print a record somewhere? Excuse me. I'll bet I screwed something up with the entity record type. Very, very likely. Name, tile ID. Excuse me. We might want to save the type. So type, entity type. Yeah, definitely I'm missing that. Tile ID I need because I need to draw it. So type, case type. Yes, this is exactly what happened. All right, so let's try that again. Rev says, I just got back and realized we need to back up and add geeks to manage the scripts for each monster. No thanks. Definitely not doing that. Okay, let's refresh. There we go. Now we've got monsters of different kinds and the hero guy in there. Let me refresh again. Yeah, so I think that's going to be more interesting. We've got different types of monsters, and they may have different characteristics that make them behave differently. So we're set up pretty well for the next stream where we can finally start, making the game logic work. You make the characters do something, maybe start adding some items into the world that they can pick up. And then basically the rest of the week will just be making it fun and trying to implement a complete game loop so that someone can actually try to play this all the way through. In the meantime, I'll probably try to fix the publishing automation script so that you can play the game yourself on the website for the project. Hopefully that will be something that's not too hard to finish at this point. Let me just go ahead and commit what I've got so far. Okay, that's fine. I'll commit the notes after. So add different monster types. Okay, and then we're just gonna save dev notes, and then I'll push that up. So if you want to go see, let me type my passphrase. If you want to see the code for that, that is at codeberg.org/davidwill/lambda. Wow, that's not right. Lambda Dungeon. Probably it deserves a better name now, but here it is. So now you have access to all the latest code there. You can go pull it down and build it yourself. I actually updated the README to include build instructions. If you are using Geeks, you should be able to just clone the repo and run this command, and it will load up, and you can go to your browser at localhost port 8088 and check it out. Lambdung for short. Okay, well, thank you all for being here today. I think we did pretty good in 3 hours. It's right at 3 hours, almost exactly. So I'll be back tomorrow. Not sure what time it will be exactly. Just really depends on when I have free time in my schedule. And we'll do another, hopefully 3-hour stream to get the interpretation for the scripts working. And hopefully these monsters will be doing something interesting at that point. So yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day or evening or night or wherever you are in the world. Until next time, happy hacking. See ya.